just wanted to come on here and go into detail more about my independent medical reviews that I submitted to the Department of Managed Healthcare. If you don't know about it, what the Department of Managed Healthcare is, it's an external organization that you can appeal to if your insurance denies you for referrals, etc. But their decision is final. You can't appeal what their decision is. So if they say no, the health insurance was right in acting, then that, you kind of have to go with that. And it's for HMOs, not PPOs. And this has a service here in California. I believe if you have a PPO and you've exhausted all your internal appeals with your insurance, you can go to the California Department of Insurance. But I'm not sure, as that's not the route I went. I had to go through the HMO, Department of Managed Healthcare, and here's what the results were for my endocrinologist. My request for an independent medical review, where a doctor looks over your medical records and see if your health plan was right in acting the way it did. And here's the results that I go into detail about the endocrinologist. I submitted the request for the independent medical review for pain management clinic, endocrinologist, and wheelchair all at once, as well as the delays for my DS request that my doctor's office had been delaying me. And they gave a ruling on May 30th, and this is what was found. There was an endocrinologist request sent in 2010 because that's when I was diagnosed as being diabetic and my thyroid was acting up then. And they denied that, saying not medically necessary, even though it showed that the patient, me, had hypothyroidism and type 2 diabetes. Now, I don't understand that, but anyways, they approved me to see an endocrinologist, and I have an appointment for that on July the 5th. And I'm looking on here, and it mentions bariatric surgery. So I thought that's weird. What does that have to do with endocrinology? It says the patient, such and such. I'm going to edit some of this out because it's my medical information. And I don't want to share it all of it, but the patient has hypothyroidism and morbid obesity. The patient is on metformin for her diabetes or pre-diabetes, impaired glucose tolerance. How is it I have either or? I've been diagnosed with diabetes, and I had the impaired glucose tolerance, after my 2-hour drink the sugary junky junk. It tastes like crap, by the way. They're just like, here, have this sugary drink. You get to pick a flavor that tastes nothing like it. It will make you want to vomit, when you drink it. And you have to drink it fast. You can't just sip it. All the while, you haven't eaten all day, I think that's a joke, but they're doing the best they can. Excuse me. It says she has seen a specialist for consultation regarding possible bariatric surgery. This was the surgeon I saw in last November that they were referring to, who only did the sleeve bypass and the band, which I didn't like his bedside manner too well, and his program seemed kind of fishy to me. Like, he only worked or performed surgery on healthy bariatric patients. You know, how can they only pick and choose who they want to help? Why not help everybody? You know, that was kind of a red flag to me, that maybe it's this only after the money. Because there are some practices like that that just do it for the money, you know. But anyways, and that was the one that said, due to my mobility issues, I was high risk of pulmonary embolism and DVT, even though I have no history of clotting disorder. And said, come back when you have better mobility. You know, I said I can ride a bike, or the stationary bike anyway. You know, I can't do it all at once because my sciatica is real bad on that seat. But I can do it in stages. You know, I can't do no cross-train Jillian Michaels kind of exercise on there or anything. But, you know, I can ride a bike, which cycling is really good for circulation. And the DVTs are clots in your legs, if you don't know what they are. So helping the circulation down there, the best thing probably would be the bike, if you think about it. But I'm not a doctor. I can also go in the pool. My apartment complex has a pool. I also have lots of weights, you know, the bands that, you know, you can work out with. I also have various DVDs I work out with. Like, one of them is You Sit Stationary and Box, but I had to stop that from my back. It kept twisting funny, you know. And I can sit and vacuum. You know, it sounds kind of pathetic, but I can sit and vacuum. I have to sit down to vacuum. Yeah, but, you know, that gets my heart rate up somehow. You know, there's stuff I can do. It's just the walking that was the problem. And since the pain wasn't managed, you know, I wouldn't be able to, I can't walk that far if it's not managed. You know, if I take a bunch of pills, I could probably walk, but I still need a device because I have partial paralysis in my leg now. But I'll get into that later. Anyway, that's the surgeon this guy means when he says she has seen a specialist for consultation regarding possible bariatric surgery. And then goes on to say, the surgeon's assessment on November was that the patient was high risk for pulmonary embolism and deep vein thrombosis, DVT. Surgeon concluded that the patient was not a good candidate for bariatric surgery at that time. The patient's body mass index at that time was 49. And she had a good A1C, which is a blood test they do when you have diabetes. It averages your blood glucose over the past 3 months. And then he goes in later and says, based on review of the available records, patient is asking for a consultation with an endocrinologist. Still not sure where the whole bariatric thing comes into play, since he's not a bariatric surgeon, but okay. Patient is high risk for cardiovascular disease given her present BMI. Yeah, that's why I want the bariatric surgery. In addition, the patient is not currently considered an ideal candidate for bariatric surgery due to risk for PE, pulmonary embolism, and DVT. Thus, management of her impaired glucose tolerance should be thoroughly evaluated by an endocrinologist for optimal medical therapy. So, I have an appointment on July 5th with an endocrinologist. Here comes some paper rumbling in, so sorry if it's close and loud. Mind you, that was their soonest appointment when I called them in May. Great! I'm going to try to get them to write a letter saying that I'm a good candidate in their opinion, or, I was turned down for a second opinion for bariatric surgeon, even. Well, I was turned down for a second opinion for a DS surgeon. you know, they wanted me to go to a another surgeon here in town, but they didn't do the DS. And the way they worded it was kind of, since I'm close to all the other surgeries. So it's not that I'm close. I said this is the best one for a resolution of diabetes. You know, why not get the best one for that? And they cut me off again. But I just want surgery one time. I don't want to go back and do it. I want to get rid of the diabetes for good, you know, and other things. But I went into earlier on why I wanted the DS. So, anyways, alright, so that's pretty much it for the endocrinology update. Stay tuned for more updates, and I'll talk to you guys soon.